Hello. This is Yes, No, or Veto, where we review restaurants on everything but the food. My name is Tyrone. I'm your host. I'm the founder of Veto Inc., the app you use to choose. If you haven't checked it out yet, please go take a look. It's a quick swipe to decide, super cool. You can find restaurants in your area. You can invite friends to vote with you. You'll see at the end how quickly you can actually pick a restaurant. But we're here today at Bodega in St. Albert, Bodega by Sabor. A beautiful little spot, great drinks, great wine, great food. And the reason we're reviewing restaurants on everything but the food, one, I don't have it in the budget to buy food at every single restaurant I'm going to review. Two, no one's giving me free food yet. Three, when you're looking for a restaurant, you're looking at everything but the food. Chances are you've heard something good about it. You've been referenced, you've been recommended. You know that there's something you can find on the menu that's going to be good. And four, other stuff matters. We want to know who we're buying from. We want to know who we're supporting. What makes that restaurant good? How you're going to feel when you go there. So we're here. Please take a look. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the restaurant. It's nice and small, but it's beautiful, and they've got everything you're going to need. And then we're going to get into an interview with Ofolee back there. He's the GM, great guy, and he's got some great advice and great food and great ideas about what you should be doing here. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I do all the recording, video editing, meeting with these guys, trying to get them to meet with me. Please leave a comment. Let me know where I should go next. It all means a lot to me. So please do that, and we'll get into it right now. Thank you. Okay, this is the interview section of Yes, No, or Veto. I'm with Ofolee. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're going to get right into it here. So, who are you? What do you do? Work experience here? Why are you part of Sabor/Bodega?
So my name is Ofolee. I was born and raised in Zambia. My mother is and she moved out there when she was 23. My father was from Ghana. He passed away a few years ago. But they set up shop in Zambia, and that's where I was born and raised. I was then sent to boarding school in England.
Okay.
And so from 12 to about 22 I lived in England. Temporarily, so I go back and forth between Zambia and England. And I would come here and visit my grandparents and cousins and whatnot. I moved here finally in 2000, July of 2000, and so I've been here 22 years, living in Edmonton for about 17 years. First job in the service industry was, I worked at a pub in England. It's called Spice Island Inn in Portsmouth. And that was pretty much my entrance to it. I was a student there at the University of Portsmouth, and so it was a student job. But I found that with life I've tended to, whilst going through school or anything, it's always good to have a restaurant job. And that's what I've done pretty much ever since.
Right. Very cool. And then how'd you get involved with Bodega here?
So I got involved in Bodega. I had worked at Roast Asado, which is in the Mercer building.
Right.
I worked there, and one of my friends was the manager there. He left there, and then one day he showed up at one of my other jobs, selling pasta kitchen, and said, "Hey, do you want a job? I'm working at this place called Bodega." I'd never heard of it, and so I went to check it out. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, "Yeah, I do want to work in a place like this is for me.
Very cool. Now, so there's how many bodegas? There's 2?
There's 5.
There's 5 bodegas, all in Edmonton?
3 of them are in Edmonton,
Okay.
2 of them, one of them obviously we're in St. Albert, but there's also a short one.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Okay, and that's crazy too because I looked at the website and I didn't see too much about it. Maybe there might be location specific websites.
Well, Bodega is entirely owned by Sabor.
Right.
And so my bosses, Oliveira and Christian Mena, they came up with both Sabor and Bodega.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
so, they are industry folk as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as I understand it, they took a trip through Europe, and while they were there, when they were young, it was a motorcycle trip. They came up with the idea of making somewhat authentic, or authentic.
Somewhat authentic.
Well, it's
There's a Western twist, right?
Authentic's an interesting word because we are in Canada. So
Yeah.
whatever, like if you bring authentic Japanese, that means there's a Japanese guy in the kitchen probably doesn't speak English, and it would be authentic Japanese in Canada. Whereas our palate's a little bit different, so everything has a little bit of a fusion to it.
Okay.
But it's based in authentic Portuguese, Spanish recipes, and the way they do it in the Mediterranean.
Well, I appreciate your honesty because everywhere that I go that says authentic, nobody actually says, you know what, it's not technically really authentic. So that's interesting. But obviously, I mean, I've been here a few times. My mom frequents this place. I'm pretty sure you remember her. But yeah, it's obviously amazing. And Portuguese, so the Portuguese and Spanish is the influence behind it, I would say.
So Lino Oliveira is Portuguese. He's the chef, and it almost seems cliche to say that Lino and Christian built these places with their own hands, but it's not. They literally, all this artwork that you see was commissioned by them. This is Lino and Christian's baby.
Amazing.
So it's not even influence. They are in control of what we get.
Okay, so so every store is corporate owned, right? It's not a franchise.
They're all, none of them franchise. I think that may be the intention in the future, but as of yet, they're all owned outright.
Well, it's good to do that too, because you keep the authenticity, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool. Okay, so I was going to ask how much influence like the Sabor as a parent company has in this type of thing, but obviously it's a lot. So what are kind of the major differences between Sabor and Bodega? Why would somebody choose one over the other? What experience are they going to get at each?
Well, Sabor is obviously it's the parent restaurant, but it's much more a fine dining restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit higher end. You have a server assigned to your table, and there are a lot of other functioning parts of the service staff there.
Right.
You don't really have that. In Bodega, although we are still Spanish and Portuguese influenced, it's much more fast casual.
Right.
So we have an attention to the quality of the product, but it's not really a place that you necessarily need to have a reservation. I get a lot of people calling up asking, could I get a table for 2 at 6? And it's like, yeah. 2 people can sit at any table we have.
Yeah.
And generally we like reservations for larger groups. Sabor, that's the type of place, it's a special place. It's a place that you would take somebody on a date. You perhaps would want a reservation.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that are mirrored, like both places. You want a lobster risotto, they both do them so well. That is probably the flagship. Lobster risotto.
Lobster
is
risotto.
really well done.
Okay.
We also, at Bodega, we have really good everything, paellas, piri chicken, and the Sabor's menu is phenomenal and flawless. I really enjoy Sabor as well.
Cool. Okay, so we're talking about food. So what is your favorite menu item then?
So my favorite menu items, because are tapas. Tapas are pretty much like appetizers, shareable food.
Yeah.
And the idea is you order a whole bunch and you try a little bit of each. You they're not entrees.
Okay, so what's your favorite combo of tapas?
So my favorite, hands down, would be I like this boar cheeks. So they're braised boar cheeks, braised in red wine, really tender. You can cut them with the side of your fork, and I will put that on top of our 5 tomato salad. So you've got a red wine vinaigrette in there, red wine jus on the boar cheeks, and bocconcini cheese, lots of different artisan tomatoes. It's fantastic. And that's low carb. If it's want something a little bit heavier, I'd probably get the same boar cheeks, but on top of the mushroom risotto. Mushroom risotto. That really plays well together.
All right, good to know. And then, so every place kind of seems, and this happened when I was in the restaurant industry, but every restaurant, all the staff kind of knows the hack, the most popular hack, something that they'll adjust in the menu. All right, can you even adjust anything on the menu?
We tend not to really. It depends, like if there's an allergy or something.
Yeah.
But there are a few hacks. I suppose that's a hack, putting boar cheeks on top of the salad.
I bet when you're looking at, I guess, at kind of tapas, everything is mix and match anyways. I find a lot of the responses I get on this question are swapping out the sauce or something like that. So anything like that comes to mind?
Let's see. Well, there's one item which we removed from the menu, and that's purely because here in the prairies we are somewhat texturally averse. And so what I mean by that is calamari, whenever you have it, it's usually breaded.
Yeah.
That breading is to take away from the natural rubberiness of the calamari. We had a dish called grilled calamari at Puttanesca. That dish we still can make, but it's not on our menu because of popular demand. But that's something which I get all the time. At Puttanesca, it's an interesting sauce because, as I understand it, it was a chef who, at the end of his night, and this is somewhere in the Mediterranean, because Puttanesca, Putta is not a good word. It's true. So he figured out that at the end of the night, the ladies of the night would come in. And it was right at the end after, because the last ones to go to bed, right? And then he would mix all of the sauces. So you have like a marinara type sauce mixed with tomatoes, there's anchovies in there, and capers. It's a really good sauce. Not everyone likes it, but a hack would be for me to have that sauce on the risotto. Yeah, that'd be good.
Fair enough. So for the loyal customers you have, they might try something new.
Try something. Well, I mean, with tapas, you're always trying something.
That's true.
New anyway, so it's a little bit less. I mean, I could give you hacks for other restaurants that galore, but here, I'm confident that food is good as it comes. So
okay, that's fair. Now, this just popped in my head again. Obviously, you have in a place like this, you're gonna have regulars, that kind of thing. What would you like? How often does your most common regular come? I feel like it's often.
2 or 3 times a week.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just a stop after work.
We have good regulars here, and it took a while, but I personally got to know some of them. I have a son who's 12, and I've taken him fishing 3 or 4 times. Never got anything. And it was kind of anticlimactic for him. And so we got to talking. One of my regulars came in. Not to mention his name because that's but great guy. He and his wife come in here every 2 or 3 months. And so he got to talking to me, and he was very interested, and he's into fishing. And so one day he said, "Hey, why don't you and your son come and take fishing?" We went to Pigeon Lake on his boat, and in 4 hours we caught 24 fish.
Oh my gosh!
So I have the photos and the video, and I also have a friend now for life.
Yeah.
So, and I also made my son's day because I was fishing now.
Okay.
I mean,
honestly, I used to go fishing with my opa, and every time we went, we would either not catch anything, or it would be pouring rain, or whatever. And same thing. I just don't like fishing now.
Yeah.
So I feel like
that was the path my son was on. He's going to do that at some point.
Cool.
But yeah, no.
That kind of skips ahead. I was going to ask what kind of a memorable guest experience that you had, like kind of shout out to a guest. So that kind of skips that. But we'll give out some more recognition here for a second. So, what is your favorite restaurant other than Bodega Sabor in Edmonton?
My favorite restaurant, well, it's kind of like my local Sabor restaurant. It's called Provincial.
Okay.
Provincial Pub.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to work there. I used to be the general manager for what I was before.
Yeah.
It was called Overtime Social Pub. And so I know the owners. I didn't work for them, but I met them, and they're really good guys, Jason, Scott, and my buddy Ernest Lee. But yeah, I honestly, if you want really, really quality food, quality service, good beverages, and it's not at Bodega, it's going to be there.
Provincial, all right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Provincial. Okay, so now, what is in restaurant specific, what's the best piece of advice that you've gotten, whether it's for restaurant career or like guest experience or whatever? What is it, and who gave it to you? Where'd you get it from?
So one of my best friends, and I will say his name is Zach Names. This guy is he's a heavy hitter when it comes to the restaurant industry.
Okay.
Young man, very determined. I admire his character, and he came in here from the States. I was working at another restaurant, and he came in and he was just really, he listened, he wanted to help, he wanted to make things better, and he said to me this once, and I think he realized that I kind of was feeling that way, but he said to me, he says, "Oh man, just do the right thing, and the money will come.
Okay.
Don't worry about the rest of it, do the right thing."
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken that with me. So every guest is important, and I'm trying to do the right thing by them. Obviously, there are some people who are trying to take you for a ride, and that comes with the territory. You can't get mad at that or cheated. Just do the right thing. If the guest has the best experience, they're going to come back.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. Okay, and then where were we? Oh yeah. So we'll move on to this. Your chance to brag about Bodega a little bit. I know you've been talking well about them already. But if somebody was looking for something specific, what is Bodega the absolute best that they should come here for? No doubt. It can be food, experience, location, whatever.
The absolute best at? Well, I think that coming here for food, Benji, the chef at St. Albert, or another chef, they are phenomenal. So in terms of food, you're not going to get better quality food. They really, my hats off to them, they really work hard at making sure that the product is consistent and it's perfect. In terms of their grilling capabilities, I've never worked at a kitchen where I could put char on food and not make it taste burnt.
Okay.
Like intentional char, and like this is overdone. So like, if you want to come here for seafood, that's where it's at. Like Bodega, you're not going to get better seafood than here. I know we are a tapas restaurant. A lot of them are seafood, but we have a seafood platter. If you like seafood, that's all just money. Just money. I come in here often with my son, and it's a platter for more than two people. But we will polish that whole thing off. Yeah. That's how it is.
Okay.
If you like wine and you like cocktails, my bartender Dan, I always say to our guests, he has magic in his hands. He does. But more than that, he's not a signature bartender. So a signature bartender is, I give a menu to you. You can't think on your own, you need a menu, right? people then start to think that the menu is dictating the drink. And so I get him training, studying. I've got a little bookshelf behind the bar.
Yeah.
And I train him classic, so he knows how to make a classic cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
People come in and they're like, "Oh, I'll have a margarita." Well, a margarita is basically a version of a daiquiri.
Yep.
Daiquiri is the first one, rum and lime juice, with a simple syrup. But margarita is now using the, and when you get that kind of classic training, you tend to think outside the box when it comes to drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a damn good cocktail, check out down at our bar.
Okay. So that kind of leads me into another question then is what kind of selection process goes into the food, the menu, the wine? Is there, I know you said you took off the old calamari before, how often does it change? Like, is there, do you guys do tour tastings for your staff? Or?
If we are featuring a new item, we'll give a tasting to our staff so they can describe it. I like them to be able to describe their food, as the saying goes, pictures worth 1,000 words. But really, and again, going back to Lino and Christian, they built this with their own hands. So that's the prime directive is from them.
Okay.
So the brains of our menu will be helped with Chef Lino, and Chef Benji is basically the top dog here. So he runs the tight ship. They really know how to do their job. But yeah, that's how it comes. If we're having a menu change, Lino's going to come in and tell each of the individual bodegas, this is how it's going to change, this is what it's going to be like. We'll get a copy of it to look over so we can change prices and take off items and so on and so forth. But yeah, when it comes to our direction, it's all Lino, Oliveira, and Christian Lino.
Okay, so a lot of hands-on then from them, like throughout everything.
There's nothing like Lino will come in here and if we're short a guy or something, he'll be washing dishes and he'll come out and clear tables and people just won't even know that he's the owner.
Right.
And I take a lot from that. I try to kind of be understated rather than overstated. I don't have a swagger when I walk in. Everyone's good until they prove themselves otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good.
But a lot of it, I really admire those guys, and I hope that someday I could possibly share in this little thing.
Yeah. Right. Well, give them a restaurant. Okay, last question. What is one thing everybody should know about Bodega now that they probably don't know? So we touched on a lot. You can reiterate that just to kind of hammer it home, or if there's something that you think that comes to mind. Interesting fact.
Yeah, there are a couple of things. A lot of people don't really understand tapas. So yeah, tapas are not appetizers. So when you come in and you order a couple of tapas and then you order a couple of big plates, if you want it in the courses style, so you want tapas as appetizers, tell your server that, because otherwise they're just going to ring it in and you might get the big one first and then this one, and that's just how it is. Also, if there's two people, you don't need a reservation. You don't, and I know it seems kind of strange, but if you imagine I'm setting up and then the phone rings, can I get a reservation for 2 in 5 minutes? And it's like, you could have just shown up. Yeah. And I understand that due to COVID, we are a little bit more on the social media /phone/internet side. Yeah. But yeah, just show up. It's like McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, you don't call ahead and say, "Oh, do you have space for 2?" That 30 seconds, which it seems like to you, if I'm sweeping and mopping, I have to stop that. Yeah. Or if I'm serving a table, I have to stop that. Yeah. And then say, "Oh, I have a reservation." So that's one of the things. I mean, we do take reservations, but you don't need.
But it's not necessarily other places.
Yeah. If you're trying to get in on Friday, Saturday night between 6 and 8, sure, call a week ahead and make a reservation, then you're guaranteed. But other than that, it's good, you can show up. Yeah. You might have a little wait with Dan and his magic hands on the bar.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. And then, you can come right in.
Perfect. Okay, that's about everything we're gonna get into the yes no veto. So I'm gonna set that up real quick. Okay, we're back. We've got veto open here. We are gonna do a quick search as if we are. What do you think? It's 3 o'clock. Let's say we're going to dinner within 1 kilometer in St. Albert, and well, let's go. What's your favorite type of food other than street food?
Other than Portuguese,
Italian, Mexican.
I eat everything.
Okay.
Absolutely everything.
Let's just go with Italian.
There you go.
Full price potentially, and then rating of 3 to 5. That sounds good to me. So we'll start the session. Oh, we got no results there. Let's go back and look up a bit. And Italian. Okay, 7 options. That's better. Louisa Risto. Do you know where that is?
No.
It's in St. Albert. It's on Parent Street. It's a small Italian restaurant. 4.5 stars out of 5. All good reviews. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I forgot to describe it to the users. Sorrentino St. Albert. That sounds like a no. Okay.
No.
The More Italian Deli. For dinner tonight, no?
No.
Okay. Buco Pizzeria.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, we like those instantly like that. Amore Pasta More.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Do you want to go yes on that one?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Beside Mario's. And there's a discount there. No? Alright. Capital Pizza and Steakhouse.
Probably not, no.
Probably not. Okay. Alright, there's your summary. No vetoes in the session. We'll end the session. And you could go on a Buco.
Awesome.
That's nice and easy.
Yeah.
There's probably less than a minute to decide, so that's awesome. Yes vote is yes, no is no, and veto removes it from the list completely. So thank you very much. This has been a great chat. It was fun. We got some good pieces of advice and a lot of education about Bodega. So if you're still here, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe. This is Ofolee Quay.
Yeah, come visit me at Bodega.
Bodega St. Albert. Thanks.
Thanks, Tyrone. Awesome.